I remember sitting in my car after work way longer than I needed to. The engine was off, yet the day was still humming in my body. That low, satisfied buzz you get when things have gone well. Late afternoon light spilling across the dashboard, catching the dust in the air, turning it gold. My hands rested on the steering wheel, warm, relaxed. And my body, it was as if it hadn't quite got the signal to move yet. It had been a good day. I'd been giving more responsibility again, more autonomy, more trust. I was hitting my targets. People had thanked me for their sessions. You know, that quiet, genuine gratitude that lands when you know that you've helped somebody move closer to their best self. I was capable, reliable, respected. My life was working. However, sitting there, something inside me softened enough for a deeper awareness to come through. I had the realization that it felt like I was living inside a snow globe. Not in a sad or dramatic way, yet I noticed how everything in my life was so carefully arranged. The relationship, the routine, the work, the rhythm of my days, and it all made sense. If something shook, a hard week, a difficult conversation, everything just settled back into its place exactly as it should. Inside that globe, I was safe. There was structure, predictability, a sense of being held. And I remember realizing how much effort had gone into building it, how long I'd spent learning how to be good, helpful, high functioning, how early I'd learned that stability came from keeping things together. The snow globe had done its job. And then, without warning, I started to feel this steady pressure in my chest. Not panic or sadness, pressure. Like something inside me had grown and the space around it hadn't caught up yet. I stayed in the car. I watched people walk past, hearing distant laughter, feeling the world continue on as normal. While inside me, something was stretching. And that's when it landed. A snow globe never expands. The air inside never changes. And the day that you grow, the day your capacity increases, your vision widens, your sense of what's possible deepens, breathing inside a closed system starts to feel a little tight. And at first it's subtle. A fullness with nowhere to go. A sense that you're taking up more internal space than your life is designed to hold. I was never unhappy. If anything, I was proud. Proud of what I'd built, proud of how far I'd come, proud of the life that I'd created from the ground up. Yet alongside that pride was a new, undeniable awareness. Good was no longer big enough. The snow globe hadn't failed me. It had protected me. It was a perfect fit for the version of me that I used to be. And sitting there, hands on the wheel, I felt the weight of that truth settle. Because it came with grief. Grief for the life that I'd built so carefully, for the safety it had given me, for the version of me that fit so perfectly inside of it. And alongside that grief came clarity. If I stayed, I would have to keep shrinking myself to match the space. And if I left, I would have to learn how to build a life that could grow with me. That realization didn't come out of nowhere. It had been forming for a long time. I grew up in a low socioeconomic household, the youngest of 3 girls. Money was tight, life moved week to week. Emotionally, things were unpredictable. Very early on, I learnt how to read people. I could sense a shift in a mood before words were spoken. I knew how to soften tension, how to keep things calm. And that skill became intuition, emotional intelligence, leadership. And it also taught my nervous system something very early. Safety comes from keeping things together. So I became good, helpful, high achieving. And achievement wasn't about ambition just yet. It was always about stability, about being needed, about creating certainty where there wasn't a lot of it. That belief followed me quietly into adulthood. At 14, I entered a relationship that lasted for 13 years. For a long time, it was my foundation. It gave me family values, belonging, a sense of we that I hadn't grown up with. Inside that relationship, I built a life. I became the first in my family to go to university. I topped my class in a Bachelor of Health Sciences. I worked in the fitness industry for nearly a decade, helping people change their bodies and their lives. From the outside, everything worked. That chapter of my life felt like living inside that snow globe. Beautiful, contained, predictable, and safe. And for a long time, that was exactly what I needed. While still living inside that life, I began running goal-setting workshops for my gym community. Then something happened that quietly changed me. I hosted a charity gala raising money for survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. I was told that it couldn't be done. I remember sitting across from the events coordinator as she explained that it was too big of a financial risk, that there was no way that I could sell enough tickets in 3 months. It sold out in a weekend. We raised $22,500. And what most people didn't know at that time was that I was a survivor of sexual assault myself. That night didn't blow my life apart, yet it definitely cracked something open. For the first time, I could feel my own capacity, my voice, my leadership, my ability to move people. And when you feel that, it's very hard to go back to pretending that you don't. And yet, I went back into my snow globe. However, I was never the same inside of it. Opportunities expanded. I got offered to go and run workshops and seminars to teenage girls in high schools. I traveled for the work. Life was good. Yet internally, that same pressure returned. I was expanding way faster than the life that I'd built could hold. And this is where so many people get stuck. Nothing is wrong. And yet, nothing feels quite right either. Eventually, I reached a truth that I couldn't unsee. I could keep the life that worked, or I could honor who I was becoming. I couldn't do both. Leaving that relationship, choosing to step outside of the snow globe, it wasn't strategic. It wasn't tidy. I didn't have language for what I was doing. I didn't have the tools or the guidance. I blew up good before I knew how to build great. And for a while, everything felt uncontained. I kept working, I kept helping people, and internally, I was so dysregulated. Capable yet unsure. Driven yet unanchored. Free yet without any form of structure. I was terrified that people would see the cracks, that I'd be judged for blowing up a good life without knowing how to put myself back together again. And this is the phase that no one talks about, where courage comes first and clarity comes later. This is when I found NLP. And this is the part that matters. NLP didn't give me bravery. I already had that. What it gave me was language, a way to communicate with myself, a way to make sense of my patterns, a way to regulate my nervous system instead of living in reaction. It was the roadmap that I wish I'd had before everything broke open. For the first time, I could see why I chased certain outcomes, why success had always felt conditional, why safety and fulfillment had felt mutually exclusive. With that internal structure in place, my life and business stabilized and then fully expanded. Not from force, from alignment. I didn't just build a business. I became someone who could hold success without losing myself. After years of people asking me, I opened up my doors to coaching adults. My business scaled beyond anything I'd previously been able to sustain. I moved states to support that growth. And not long after, I was invited to lead the coaching pillar of the very company that trained me, working alongside my former mentor. Within 8 months, one coaching program I co-created generated over $1 million in revenue. A separate, lower investment offer reached $100,000 in 4 weeks. Yet what mattered most to me wasn't the numbers. It was how it felt. No hustling, proving, or burning myself out to make it work. I was designing programs, training coaches, scaling impact, from a grounded, regulated place. Success stopped feeling like something that I had to chase, and it became something that I could inhabit. And now I gain so much fulfillment from helping clients do the same within Elevate and Amplify, our signature coaching programs. And here's what I want you to take from this. Most people don't stall because they're lazy or incapable. They stall because they've never been given the tools to truly know themselves. They've learnt how to perform, yet not how to listen. They've learnt how to succeed without feeling safe while doing it. NLP changed the game for me because it taught me how to build success from the inside out. And now, through my work, it's exactly what I get to help other people do. I work with people who can feel the edges of their current life pressing in. People who know that there's more and yet don't want to burn everything down just to feel alive. Today, I live a life where I'm paid to exist, where success and fulfillment are no longer opposites, where ambition doesn't require self-abandonment. If your life looks good and something inside you feels quietly restless, stop telling yourself that you're broken. Stop telling yourself that you're behind, and stop beating yourself up thinking you're ungrateful. Maybe you are simply standing at the edge of good, with great asking you to be brave. This is my story, and if you've recognized yourself anywhere inside of it, you are in the right place. Because in my world, you never have to choose between success and fulfillment. You get to have both.